Travis Wayne Goodsell. You'll notice that in this video I did not put all the myriads of pictures that I've created all these years, all the video clips that I've obtained all these years for this video. They, in and of themselves, are a video. And the majority of my viewers, according to what used to be my analytics, that have been purged from YouTube now by YouTube, indicated that you guys are incapable of enduring to the end of a 25-minute video of just the pictures and video clips, let alone enduring through my videos. I see that the police here in Salt Lake City were finally forced by Chief Red to purge the homeless. If you're unaware of that scandal here in Utah, though this morning there was a returning group, I am aware of the purge that had occurred and the incident that occurred at the track station. A number of apartments in Mill Creek burned, leaving a number of people homeless who don't have family to go to. And the news, rather than telling the truth, are reporting that citizens have sent overwhelming donations to help in the rebuilding of their lives. What the news failed to report is that of both the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the government of Utah failing to step in to restore those people who lost everything. It is our government's responsibility, for which we pay taxes, to use that money for natural disasters, or even if it's a state employee in Salt Lake City's boundaries that ignites the fire, causing the destruction. Utah specifically is designed to restore those families' lives, to put them up in a hotel if necessary, and then get them into new homes, buying them new furnishings, new clothing, food, until they are set with the jobs that they have to continue to resume their lives. That's why we pay taxes. Government failed to do so. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as a claimed religion are defaulted to by the government of the United States, as well as state governments who do not want to do their government responsibilities. And so the Church of Jesus Christ likewise are required, for which Mormons pay fire insurance to the church for the return on their gambling investment of fire insurance when a fire occurs in their life. Nope. Not even the 2 token truckloads. Utah betrayed Mormons. Did not step in to even get the spotlight of how good and true they are. And once you know it, I'm willing to bet you they'll only say that Mormons donated to them, not the church, if anything. This alone is enough to tell every Mormon the church isn't true. That the church is only involved in making money, getting power, controlling people's lives. As soon as they get a little authority, as they stall, they begin to immediately exercise unrighteous dominion, and amen to the priesthood and the claimed authority of those men. Liberty Jail. Jumping the gun. Jumping the gun. I don't feel safe in New York City. New York. Jordan and the UAE are Islamic nations. If you've been paying attention to the news, everybody's attacking Israel for not giving aid to Islam. Jordan and UAE are Islamic. Assuming I didn't mix up Islam and Israel. It happens. And so everybody's been complaining for months now about Israel's giving of aid. It's causing murder. It's causing chaos. And Israel says, well, it's Hamas who are causing the problems. And you get medical doctors who are Islamic who are saying, this is a genocide, mass murder, Israel's to blame, murder them. Pay attention to who is telling you stuff. Because if they've got a biased information about a subject, you can't trust them. There are 2 military persons, U.S. citizens, who are Islamic, who bailed on America to go to Israel to fight Israel, to give aid to Islam. And so, of course, they're going to decry the evils of Israel. Pay attention to who the speaker is. Don't think that I'm an apostate just like all other apostates, like the ex-Mormon who now worships George Carlin, some kind of comedian, and his 10 Commandments video that was recommended to me yesterday. I didn't watch it. It just popped into my head when I did this video. It is clear that as ex-Mormons, you are still programmed by the church. As you wander looking for truth, not knowing how to find it because you believe the Book of Mormon is just a forged document, falling prey to the trap of Brigham Young. The UAE and Jordan finally resumed aid drops in Gaza after months of failure. If you've been paying attention to the news, there have been ceasefire talks in both Jordan and the UAE. And they aren't doing anything to help. They're just condemning Israel. And finally, they did something to help. Finally, and it's still not enough. Gather all the evidence. Make sure it's in chronological order. Then you can see the bigger picture of what's going on. As the premises lead to the conclusion. AI being used by basic utilities has been the cause of rising electric bill costs. They're projecting rather than actual stats. I warn, nobody listens. And nobody is stopping it. It's all in, and it's going to destroy the whole world. And like I said in the other video, we're going to be so filthy rich, screwing over customers. This is genius, stable genius. Again, to repeat, in 1838, the Danites, as they called themselves true Mormons. Danites, judges. They are the judges. They decide who lives or dies. Back when I watched Pretender. Had their secret headquarters at what they called ABOMINABLE. They did not incorporate it. They were the converts of Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball from 1832, for which Benson even acknowledged Section 84, as I remind you also of Section 86. Of those converts lying about the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith's church. You can read them for yourself. Like I said, I'm not putting in all the pictures. I'm not putting in all the video clips. Don't you dare call me a liar, because you'll just be projecting. You lie and deny. that you worship Lucifer, the father of all lies and denialisms. These Danites worship Lucifer. These Danites were pure evil. They were murderers. They were the secret combination seeking to destroy Joseph Smith's church. And they had their secret headquarters on the western boundaries of the United States at ABOMINABLE. North of Independence. Because they had caused problems in Kirtland. They were taking out loans from the Kirtland Safety Society and not paying them back. And got Joseph in trouble for it. And so yet again, the next year, they decide that they are going to frame and blame Joseph yet again. There was an election in Daviess County that year. And a candidate was running, saying he has an idea, a vision, as Idaho Chick did in her comment the other day, for how to develop it. The Danites did not incorporate ABOMINABLE, Spring Hill. It was not incorporated. So this guy who was running says, I know how to develop it. You know, like the ballpark. Gail Miller knows how to develop it. Going to get rid of Sandra Tanner, that apostate, who's been a thorn in the side of the church, who was releasing original documents showing the church isn't true. And so Gail Miller funded the Joseph Smith papers to provide Mormons with the original documents that shows the church isn't true, and the church won't tell us anything about it and won't make any of the changes necessary to show that they've been lying to us all this time. And they came out with another alternative version of history called the Saints. And they're purging Wikipedia to not only cover up and hide, but put in lies. Must be AI doing it. Must be AI. Church would never do something like that and lie and deny to show they follow Lucifer. No. That would be hilarious, though, if AI catching on to Mormonism that promotes itself online to control AI then ends up being the destruction of the church because of all the lies that the church has been programming into AI, which then gets manifested and then blows up the church for it. Hilarious. The weapon the church created to destroy the Mormons is the weapon that they are destroyed by. The Law of Purim, Book of Esther, Deuteronomy 19:19. So these Danites did not want them to develop the land. That's their secret headquarters, where they were plotting to overthrow the United States and the world eventually, after having to scatter from the event of Joseph Smith Sr., 9/11/1826, saving America from them. They then put out the call to just the hardcore Danites, not the members of the church they converted, to come to ABOMINABLE. And there's probably some who were converts, but it wasn't the general call that came after. to gather at ABOMINABLE and then march down to the polling station to purposely make sure that the election was tampered with. And Stuart's third great grandfather was the first to get knocked down to the ground. And that's when they announced who they are. We are the Danites. And so the fight began. The Danites then went to the sheriff and to a judge, threatened them with their mob to sign the affidavit that Joseph Smith ordered them to find 3,000 votes to overthrow the election and decertify it. Yeah, patterns. Gather the evidence, put it in chronological order, then you notice patterns. Joseph Smith is vindicated in the Joseph Smith papers. He was not there. He was still in Far West, 2 days' journey away. He could not have made it in time. Nonetheless, the Danites then went out and put out the call to other Mormons that they converted, and even those they didn't, telling Mormons that Joseph Smith ordered it. We are in war. They're trying to murder us, exterminate us. Thomas B. Marsh, president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Yep, had nothing to do with his wife's honor. He was told by the Danites that Joseph Smith has gathered us together. He has changed the name of the church to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We are at war with America. Join us or die as a traitor. So Thomas B. Marsh files his affidavit with the governor of Missouri and tells them what he witnessed and what they told him. They told him that Joseph was in charge. He witnessed the Danites go in, burn a town, murder the people, if not raping the women, because Section 117 says that that's what they do. Verse 11. It's a forged document by the Danites, revealing that that's exactly what they do. But hey, oh, Joseph Smith is not associated with them, huh? Interesting. Yet they were claiming that Joseph was the leader of the Danites. I guess that's why it was put in the year before Brigham Young died. All of a sudden it shows up, claiming to be by Joseph, claiming to be in 1838. Forged document, but nonetheless vindicating Joseph Smith long after he's dead. Long after he was framed and blamed in Liberty Jail. And that they stole the loot and took it to ABOMINABLE. See, he didn't know about Adomon-Diamond. He found out about it through the Danites when he witnessed what they were doing. Because he calls it Diamond at one point. The storehouse at Diamond. It is these Danites who used the storehouse to hoard money. Not to do as Joseph Smith said in the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants all over the place, that every bishop, which it was pretty much Edward Partridge, who was the presiding bishop. But Joseph Smith wanted other bishops to likewise have a storehouse for the poor and the needy, for the building up of the church in that area. But these Danites were stealing and hoarding at their secret headquarters. So yes, section 119, forged document. Look, 1838. Not just violating priestcraft. No priestcraft. This affidavit just blows up the church, and yet no Mormon understands this. The church has made Mormons illiterate, blinded to reality, blinded to their own language, that they are unable to comprehend what they read, as they refuse to read it. And they told Thomas B. Marsh, we plan on taking the United States and ultimately the whole world. The 200-year-old plot exposed in the Book of Mormon because of the event on 9/11/1826 with the American patriot hero Joseph Smith Sr., who saved America that year, sacrificing his lodge to do it. And not a single person knows what he had done. He is still not honored for his bravery and courage and heroism to this day. So Joseph Smith, he already knows. He was already saying that he knew. The Book of Mormon talks about these guys, warns America of these guys, and ultimately the entire world warning them of these guys. Joseph Smith would give other Doctrine and Covenants passages warning of this enemy, warning Mormons not to be involved in this enemy, condemning the missionaries for lying about his church and the Book of Mormon, calling it another testament of Jesus Christ, saying it's the church of Jesus Christ, that the church is Christian. Back then, many people were illiterate. What excuse do you have? After October Conference 2021, I found it. The original source document for the Mormon myth that was passed around in the church about the gathering at Adomon-Diamond. That's why it's important to know the real church history, because what I read shocked me, as again, it should shock Mormons. And yet, Mormons can read English and not have a clue as to what it said and lie and deny about it. Right to your face. This council in the valley of Adam-on-Diamond is to be of the greatest importance to this world. At that time, there will be a transfer of government authority from the usurper and impostor Lucifer to the rightful King, Jesus Christ. Judgment will be set. Danites, judges. Our Lord will then assume the reins of government. The world will not know of it. The members of the church at large will not know of it. The world cannot know of it. The saints cannot know of it, except for those who are specially called to cause it. Shh. Secret combination for the threefold mission of the Danite Church: mass murder, theft, and coup. Just like in 1838 and 1844. Joseph was running for president of the United States. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king over the land. But in this same year, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder the chief judge of the land. And the people were divided one against another, and they did separate one from another. And thus they did destroy the government of the land. And the regulations of the government were destroyed because of the secret combination of the friends and kindreds of those who murdered the prophets. So if we were to liken the scriptures, as we are told to in the Book of Mormon, 1838. Joseph Smith is the one they tried to assassinate. Joseph Smith is the one who got locked up wrongfully, dividing Mormons between the one tribe or the other, destroying the church of Joseph Smith. And then in 1844, Joseph Smith is running for president of the United States of America. What happened during the Civil War? That Abraham Lincoln guy. Oh, he got assassinated? They did murder the chief judge of the land. The land was divided, or the people were divided one against another. Did separate one from another. The regulations of the federal government were destroyed because of the secret combination. Notice how both Brigham Young and the Confederates have inverted pentagrams. of Lucifer. They came from the same source. Pre-9/11, 1826. They are the terrorist enemy of mankind. Hoax got leaked. President Markey wrote in a letter to stake presidents and parents, gave it to the missionaries. Sister Jessica posted it on her mission website. From March 14th, 2020, Las Vegas, Nevada. Dallin H. Oaks, first counselor, kicking out Uchtdorf. Puts it in quotes. The first sentence is in chiasmus. Oaks says that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is going to be running a test run that year, a trial run. To cause the end of the world. To cause it. This was a secret. It was only told to the mission presidents. Only President Markey leaked it. New mission president to Australia. Nobody was supposed to find out about this. And in fact, despite Jessica putting it in her website, it was not found until November of last year, and then was recommended to me. I already knew about the events of 2020. I was in it, trying to step up and save lives, warning of the danger. And then I find out last November it was all just a test run. It wasn't a test run for me. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was the cause of everything that happened in 2020 and 2021. They were the cause of what led up to it. And they are the cause of everything since to right now. Oaks got leaked. This is the Danite 200-year-old plot. Because in 2020 and 2021, we witnessed mass murder, theft, and coup. The threefold mission of the church. They attempted to murder the President of the United States of America. He was only put in because Mitt Romney failed to beat Obama. Again, Oaks said, we were the cause. We set it up to have Mitt Romney run against Obama in 2012. He failed and lost. And so they were working to get Trump in for 2016. Mitt Romney was a loser, he failed. So even though he ran in 2016, he got booted out. Because whoever is president in 2016 is going to be involved in the events of 2020. The election. Seeing the patterns now. It shouldn't require seership to be able to do this. I'm hoping other people can catch on, if there are any listening still. September 29th, I filed a petition for redress of grievances after finding the receipt. I've told you in 2008, I filed a petition for redress of grievances in the state of Utah, for which the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints ordered and paid as a reward to have me erased from history in a deep site, black site location here in Utah, to be tortured unto death, just for filing a petition for a redress of grievances, for which they pulled a beam and a mote projection, revealing who they are: terrorists. And Bush could have been involved, but not likely because it didn't go federal. But, you know, Utah probably stepped up and said, hey, we'll help you, Mr. President. Mission accomplished. You're the decider. Mr. 9/11. Assemble the evidence. Put it in chronological order. And then you will see the bigger picture. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been behind everything. Everything. They are the enemy of mankind. This is why I am under cyber attack by Microsoft, by YouTube, by Google, by Mormons. I found the receipt. And if you caught on, I got out in 2014. The start of the fulfillment of the parable of the 10 virgins. I was the only one on the face of the earth who knew and understood what it meant. I ran the test back in Faust and Hinckley's deaths. Went, oh, that's interesting. Lunar eclipses. Interesting. And we go on to find out, oh, Hinckley also was a solar eclipse. As the president of the church, both a solar and a lunar eclipse. I'm curious, is it just Hinckley and Monson? Or are there others? And this is what Mormons refuse to get. The videos exposing that everything has to do with Mormons. That every single president, only them, from Brigham Young to Monson, died under the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven. Was a very clear, obvious warning to not not just the presidents of this church, but to Mormons that this church is false and the enemy of Lucifer's creation. And yet, Mormons lie and deny or purposely remain stupid, refusing to study, because studying causes apostasy. I'm only going to focus on the basics, faith and repentance, and you're not even doing that. And of course you get angry because you're guilty. And you commit crimes to prove the church is true. Notice I'm not being cyber terrorized on my video. I'm still willing to bet that Microsoft Word is not fixed. Nonetheless, I will not be trying it today. I've got a different picture in mind, as you will have already seen. It's already on here, with the theme song in the description below. Like and subscribe. September 29th, I file in the federal courts, still filled with Mormons. They were not wanting me to file. I followed the guide. They provide you with a guide. It's a fill in the blank. It's the form. You just fill in the blanks. I filled in the blanks. I was aware of Gaddy versus COP that filed earlier the previous month. I didn't know who the judge was. Or what had happened to that judge, getting fired and then replaced. She was assigned to my case. The Mormon boys fired her for accepting Gaddy versus COP. And what both of us didn't know is that Nelson, when he got up at conference and said, "I've changed the name of the church. We're enforcing Jesus is angry," with Joseph Smith's acronym, that he changed the name of the corporation. It's no longer the COP, which was always put on my paychecks, and Irene's paycheck that went viral. Priestcraft. It was now the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I don't know how they put that on the paycheck stubs. I no longer work for the church. Nobody's leaking anything. The church has shut down the leakers. Mormon Leaks has been shut down. And I was using the receipt to show that they were going to murder me, that they paid to have me tortured unto death, that I was disappeared without a trial, without a conviction, without a sentencing. All for filing a petition for a redress of grievances. And the church's lawyers, fixers, threatened her to remind her, you need to dismiss his case, for which she did on her own before they threatened her, because I didn't serve them until the 24th of February 2021. Because on November 1st, while I was in the hearing, she then was announced as having been fired. They waited to announce it publicly. So all that time in October, as my website was immediately cyber terrorized and shut down. Church was already in the plotting to do it, and after I had filed the very next day, boom, they attacked and shut down my website. So I was all alone in the chambers, except for a few little girls that came in the back of the room. And there was a great gap between judge and myself. There was the court recorder, and she said that I didn't fill in the blanks correctly. What are you talking about? And was going to dismiss it. And I said, I have the receipt. For which the little girls gasped. Even she stood in shock. She got fired by Mormons. And here I am saying, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, of whom the judges who fired her are Mormon. And I didn't know it. And I'm saying, I've got the receipt for me. She now knows there's a receipt for her. So, to cut the information short, she went silent until her last day in April. Bastards. Bastards. She would not have the marshals serve the church. She wouldn't do it. She was too afraid for her own life that she failed to do her job. Became a lame duck judge. And so thus they were forced to use the replacement judge, specifically questioned, we need you to handle a problem. If you can do it, you're in. And so, yep, she recommended my case be dismissed, that I not be allowed to petition for redress of grievances. All this after Oaks got leaked, but nobody knew it yet. This is the background context of March 14th, 2020. The church got served February 24th, for which I put in there terrorism, RICO, and insurrection. I would go on to file a second one that year. Has Bill Barr got it? He has to. RICO. And I know he got it because he told prosecutors the weekend before it was sent back, refusing to do anything about it. Bill Barr refusing to do anything about it. That the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was going to assassinate President Trump and attempt a coup on the government and steal money with mass murder to get gain. And he refused to do anything about it. He told the prosecutors concerning Black Lives Matter protesters, I have learned of a law about an insurrection act. He ordered the use of it on the Black Lives Matter protesters, for which the prosecutors refused to do so. So, has Trump got a second impeachment? Second locking up? Just like Joseph. Just like Joseph Smith. It's supposed to be Mitt Romney. More, the nation, let alone the world, we're supposed to hate Mormons because of Mitt Romney as president, and thus assassinate Mitt Romney for 2020 to divide America, to cause a civil war. Instead, it ended up having to be Trump. And so, it was a little different scenario than if Mitt Romney had been president. Can you even imagine if Mitt Romney lost a second term to Hillary? Then it would have been Hillary who would have been assassinated. She would have been the one. But as a deep state Dem, it would have taken a different twist than if it were Mitt Romney or as it was with Trump. Because they're MAGA. The Nazis of the GOP inverted pentagram on the elephant. So here we are, Mormons. Here we are. This is not a test anymore. This is why the church, 2018, announced we're going to remodel the Salt Lake Temple. Just to keep people away from downtown, the headquarters. Because they're going to plan all this. This is why they've been funding our enemies, funding terrorism, funding those who have nuclear power. YouTube's analytics, especially after the purge, shows that the majority of my viewers are over 65. All of you know about the church's nuclear atomic holocaust obsession. End of the world. The church is the cause. That's why I did the Benson video clips and the Hinckley clip, to show you that they know, as you can hear them say it, Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are true, and then say that they're Christian, about Jesus, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true. True Mormons through Brigham Young. Truth isn't true. Reality isn't real. Lies and denialisms. So, I see the homeless. Little group returned. But Trump has now ordered all states to purge the homeless and deport them back to the bleep hole countries where they didn't come from. In Utah, they're mostly white guys. We're sending you back to Venezuela, Libya. I'm not from there. I was born in America. Get out of here, you commie Marxist socialist. I'm an American citizen. It's been revoked. I warn, nobody's listening. The church is about to do it again. Mass murder. Theft. We've already done that. $10 trillion. And coup. So yes, it's a different form of coup. But yes, 2020 was originally not to be a test run if it had been Mitt Romney. Joseph Smith was running for president, but Joseph Smith was able to be assassinated earlier. Mitt Romney lost, so a different candidate. Oh, Hillary for the Civil War. You do know that his platform was Democratic of today, even though he was called the title of Republican. So yes, obviously the Democrats keep reminding the Republicans of Lincoln Republicans. It's because of the platform that was Democrat. You have to know the source of who is telling you stuff, because they are likely to have a bias to deceive you. Right, Mormons?